So one of the things I really love to do around Christmas time is to make my own crackers. You know, be they customized crackers like this, or I absolutely adore marbled paper. I just think that it's absolutely beautiful. You can get gorgeous hand marbled papers from shops like Falconer's Shepherd's in London. But you can also just buy sheets. This is like a fold-up sheet that I just got from actually a book of marbled paper, which is printed, but still quite lovely. Of course, you can also make your own marbled paper. Oh, aren't they gorgeous? You can also make your own marbled paper, but that's for another demonstration. The paper needs to be a little bit thick, and you really need them to hold whatever goodies you're going to put inside. Speaking of goodies, that's one of the things I absolutely love about hand making your own crackers. You can, instead of putting like disposable throwaway tchotchkes inside, you can put real gifts inside. So the first thing you want to do is to just literally use the template that I've given you. You'll just put it on top of your paper. And what you can do is you can either just draw, if you're doing this for the first time, you can just draw the diamond shapes using the template roughly like this. Using some very sharp scissors, you want to cut out all of those holes, just like I've done here. If you're more experienced or feeling a bit more confident with this already, then what I would really highly recommend that you do is that you use a really great ruler. Scoring and preparation is going to be everything. So if you've already pre-prepared your template by cutting it out, you can just use it as a guide and just fold along really sharply, fold along the lines that you'll see on the template. I love a metal ruler. I think they're far superior to plastic rulers. And once you've done that, just give it an extra press and make sure you've got really neat sharp lines, because that's going to help you later. So if you're not going to draw each little diamond on, if you're just going to go for it and you've scored it neatly using your ruler, what I'd like you to do is you just want to cut the little shapes out, the little triangles out. If you cut here on the main body of the blades, you've just got so much more control. It's going to be a lot easier and faster. And of course, the more that you do these, the faster you'll get. Okay, so you just keep going like this, snipping all the way. Have a little check once you've cut those out. Now, obviously, I've done this quite quickly, but you can see that some of these triangles are a little bit thick here. And remember, that's the bit that's going to break when you pull the cracker. So you might want to go in afterwards if you've been a bit too fast, like I was just there, and just give them a little trim. Remember that you're only going to go up to the line that you've already scored here. So just give them a little haircut if you like. Okay, so here's my inner tube template. So I don't know if you can see here, there's just a little notch that I've put in both sides here. So that's your guide that when you curl your inner tube, you're just gonna match up the edge to the inside of the notch there, and that's going to make it absolutely the right size according to my cracker template. So that's going to ensure that they're all equal and they're going to look as professional and as slick as possible. So I'm just going to cut my little notch out here so that I know where to wind the inner tube up to, like that. Line this up here, like this. And I'm actually just going to use a little bit of regular sellotape here. You can also use double-sided tape if you prefer, but I think there's nothing wrong with using a bit of tape on the inside. So now I'm going to affix the snap. You can just get these online. They're really easy to come by and tend to come in like huge multi-packs. And I'm just going to affix it again with a bit of tape. So you're going to choose your gift. It could be a crystal, it could be a diamond ring, anything you like. I like to wrap it up in a little bit of tissue paper. You don't have to be too precious about this. You're going to stuff it inside your inner tube, and you're going to put any sort of jokes or crowns or anything you want inside this tube too. So I'm just going to say that at this point, if you did want to make the scalloped edge cracker like one of these, you can see here I've got a nice scalloped edge, or on this one too, I've got a smaller scalloped edge. You just have to use the scalloped edge template. You just have to use the scalloped edge template. And obviously you would just draw around that, around the top of your rectangular template, and you can customize it. You can also just go for it and do little zigzags or anything you like. And what I really like is just to color in the edge of the scallops. I tend to use ink, and I use a specific Japanese ink that I use for all of my illustration work. And I tend to use a brush here because I like the irregular feel. But if you're less experienced, one of these Japanese ink pens is really brilliant because it's got a brush on the end. So you can just colour in the edge like this. And if I were you, I would do both sides, because what tends to happen is you can see the ink can just bleed through the paper, especially if you've not used too thick a cardboard. So just go over it loosely. It doesn't take very long, and just give it a little colour in like this. Here I was working with a Christmas scheme of like stars and little twinkles, so I just carried that through on the cracker and the note card that went on the table. But you could put, you know, your own poems or whatever you like on there, people's nicknames. So this is where you can just use a little bit of double-sided tape at the edge here. I do like to get it really right to the edge so that we can make sure it's got a snug fit. And you're just going to roll your cracker around it. Really, really easy peasy, like this. And then we're just going to put a little bit of double-sided tape again at the edge here. You can also just use regular tape, you know, if it's your first time, it's no problem. It's, you know, you can just leave it at the bottom and it's less likely to be seen. You can see that your cracker's really starting to take shape now. You can also just affix these edges with another little bit of double-sided tape on the inside so that it just holds together perfectly. Use your thinner ribbon, and what this does is it just enables you to tie this area of the cracker more tightly because you've already gathered it together. So you just tie that on. It's super, super, super simple. Give it a little double knot to keep it in place. Et voila, your cracker's ready to go. Have a lovely Christmas, everybody.